Okay, so obesity is one of America's biggest problems. Most, if not all of you, are familiar with the obesity epidemic that Americans are facing today. I personally have had experience with obesity because of certain family members that are obese and through research that I have done. Obesity is a major problem in the world, but it can be prevented. I will talk about what exactly obesity is, the causes, the effects, and the possible preventions and solutions. Let's first talk about what exactly obesity is and the causes. The definition of obesity and the causes are two very important things when understanding obesity. The first thing that I will talk about is what obesity is. In the book, Child and Adolescent Obesity, Causes and Consequences, Prevention and Management by Walter Burniet, Inge Lassalle, and Tim J. Cole, that was published in 2002, gives a simple but good definition of obesity. They define it as, quote, an excess of body fat, end quote. In the article Preventing Obesity by Barbara Mantell, that was posted in 2010, it points out other definitions of obesity and how it's measured. There's something called the body mass index, or BMI, that is measured by measuring a person's height and weight, and if a person has a BMI of 30 or higher, then they are considered obese. There are also many things that cause a person to be obese. In the article Obesity Epidemic by Alan Greenblatt, that was posted in 2003, there are many genetic components that can make a person obese. There's something called the thrifty gene, as he puts it, that can cause a person to be obese because this gene causes a person to hold more fat in their cells when food sources are scarce. According to Greenblatt, he also points out this has made people hold too much fat in their cells now that food sources are more available. He also points out that there's something called leptin. This is a molecule received by the brain to let a person know when they are full. This is important because without leptin, then a person wouldn't know when to stop eating, so they would keep eating and eating and eating. In the article Obesity and Health by A.J. Bettelheim, that was posted in 1999, has other causes of obesity other than the genetics. One factor he points out is the amount of salary that a person's family takes in their life. More specifically, Bettelheim shows that on this chart, it shows that with the decrease of a person's salary, then the chances of you becoming obese go up. He goes on to talk about the fact that there's psychological parts of it as well. Stress is one of these. He shows through research that no matter if a person knows it or not, that if they are stressed or not, then they will continue to eat more than a person that isn't stressed. Now that I've talked about the causes, let's talk about the effects. The impact of obesity on U.S. mortality levels, the importance of aging cohort factors on population estimates by Ryan K. Masters, Eric N. Reither, Daniel A. Powers, Y. Claire Yang, Andrew E. Berger, and Bruce G. Link, as posted in 2003, yes, that is a very long title, really points out that it can cause death. Specifically, in a study that was done, 18.2% of all adult deaths were caused by obesity between the years of 1986 and 2006, according to Masters and Associates. Greenblatt goes into further detail about other effects. In Greenblatt's article, there is a quote from U.S. Surgeon General Richard Carmona. It talks about obesity being the, quote, fastest growing cause of illness and death in the United States, end quote. He points out that there are around 300,000 annual deaths that are caused by obesity a year. And there is also around 30 health-related problems, including heart diseases, strokes, and many more. There's also problems with money. This is a quote, treating obesity-related health problems costs Americans $117 billion annually, an average of $420 a person. And Americans, on average, spend around $34 billion on items to decrease obesity. Let's switch gears from the possible effects to the possible solutions and preventions. In Mantell's article, she talks about the food and drink intake. She explains by taxing drinks and foods that are higher in like calories and sugars that people will not buy it as much. Also, more labels on the menus at like restaurants and stuff would also help because people can better measure their calorie intake. Dieting and working out are also two obvious solutions to the problem. In Mantell's article, she shows that dieting and exercise prevent obesity and help become skinnier. There's a news article, "Don't Just Sit There, Work Out at Your Desk" by Eric V. Kopich, that was posted in the New York Times in 2011. Obesity is due to people's jobs, he says in this article, because of the amount of sitting that people are doing at their jobs. Standing or using like an exercise ball during work would help prevent obesity. As you can see, there's a lot to learn about obesity. This topic has many things to learn, like the definition of it, the causes, the effects, and the possible preventions and solutions. It is a major issue that many of us have experienced in our own lives, whether personally or through society as a whole. This problem affects the United States substantially, and I hope it gets better over time. Thank you.